You ready to start?
Mm-hmm.
I love that
Shimmy.
intro.
I do too.
Welcome to the Ugly Truth. Episode 603.
I will be clearing my throat.
It's fine. Did I just clear my throat?
No, I am I'm trying so hard not to.
I just did. Oh, who cares?
It's an allergy day.
I sanitized this room because I thought, by the second hour of us doing a show,
we're both dying.
You're
of
dying.
allergies.
And I realized, I'm like, there's probably so much cat hair in here.
Oh, well.
So I just decatted this whole
that may help,
office. I'm leaving the windows open,
I know, it's
everything,
lovely.
because I'm just like, I've got to get the dander out.
Well,
so
on days like this where it's been kind of raining, but not, it hasn't been pouring here, but it's been raining off and on for the last couple of days.
Yeah.
And then we get some sunshine in between.
Yes.
It's like things are just long enough to bloom or grow,
God.
and then more rain comes. So it's just the perfect storm if you have allergies.
I have a plum tree in the backyard. And those things aren't supposed to bloom until like early spring. And
It's
then they
already
just go,
flowering.
there's bud. And I'm like, buds in February?
I know, huh?
What are we doing?
Because the
I'm
weather is
so annoyed.
funky.
It is weird. But I thought the freeze that we had,
It was so
like,
cold. I know.
and nothing in my garden's dying, which is nice. Wait, is this working? Yes, everything's
Oh, God.
working. I'm like, please, dear Lord. Hello. Hi.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay, we're good. We're good.
We're good. That's why I always say that when you're at the line of scrimmage in football.
Oh.
Derek Carr's like, we're good. 21, Arkansas.
Speaking of, Derek Carr's playing the Pro Bowl today.
I know.
And apparently,
I'm happy for him.
They had there's some kind of skills thing they did over
Yes.
the weekend. And I guess he just absolutely
He's amazing.
He
Couldn't be any more motivated right now.
I cannot wait for him to win a Super Bowl next year. And I'm going to be
great.
like, fuck you, Josh McDaniels. I fucking
So
hate
have you heard
asshole.
anything about, I've heard that
I hate him so much.
I know. I do too.
Such a diabolical a-hole.
Well, I hope things go really bad for him.
I mean, on one hand, I do, but I love Devontae Adams, and I really want him to have success.
I mean, no, when I say I hope things go bad for him, I don't mean I hope things go bad for the team. I mean, I hope that his coaching or lack thereof will become more evident in the next season, and he won't have anyone to blame.
Exactly.
Now, I hope it's not at our expense because we're losing games, but at the same time, they can't get rid of him faster for me. I mean, come on.
And all the discussions have been that we can't afford to fire him and all this stuff. And I'm like, I don't think that's it. I
fired Charles Gruden and he was making a shit ton of money.
You know what? They're still paying him too, which is
good.
Which is why I think they're like, we can't pay.
He's suing the NFL.
He should be suing the NFL. The fact that he got so screwed.
He did.
I've never seen anything like it. I'm like, this is like another form of government, the NFL.
So true. Well, it's become that way.
It has.
Yeah. Well, Some people would argue it's always been that way, but I think it's gotten worse over time.
I think it's gotten worse I've had this discussion with Darrow before, and I'm like, it's not that it's not always been this way. I think it's always, like you said, I think it's always been this way. But we have so much access to information now.
True.
Nothing is secret.
Well,
Nothing. And you can't get away with anything without someone finding out.
True. And this whole woke thing doesn't help because...
Well, you know what? I did a deep dive on what woke... You know where woke comes from?
No.
Okay.
I mean, to me, it's just a literal thing.
I don't know how it transitioned to what it is now. But a long time ago, and I wish I had the absolute dates and facts, but I will give you the genesis of it. Stay woke is where it comes from. It's from black people when they're out in an area. This was back in like the
Worrying
Jim Crow
about getting
era,
killed by like cops and stuff,
and white people.
Yeah,
and there was a song about stay woke, and so of course somehow it's converted into privileged white people calling it woke. We're woke, or they're woke. Who's woke, by the way? I've never met one woke person in my life. To be fair,
it's not a noun.
Well, and I've never met anyone like that. They say that, but I'm like, who's woke exactly?
Not to the way that not to the degree for which that word has power behind it. Even the young girls that I sit next to at work, they often surprise. I feel like I'm always being very careful about what I say because I have because I'm older and I'm like, I don't want to say something to be offensive, and they're like, oh my God, this bitch just said what? But at the same time, when they talk, sometimes it's like they don't have a filter as much as we do. Like they don't think about the things they say necessarily because it's like I think they're so forward thinking all the time. Yeah. it's natural to them.
Yeah.
But when they do say something completely judgy, they also don't realize what they've just said. You
Sometimes,
know? Not all, but I mean, I think that's part of youth too.
Well, yeah.
Things just fly out of your mouth and you're like, oh.
And nowadays you can't really, we sound so fucking old right now. But anyway.
It's so true.
Anyway, with that being said, I hope that Derek Carr lands somewhere and they just annihilate their division.
I've heard that there's talks of him going to the Texans.
I've heard Texans. I've heard low-key Miami because Tua is not recovering from his concussions.
And he probably won't.
And shouldn't, by the way. I'm so like, that would be like, they're like, oh yeah, that guy, DeMar Hamlin's coming back to play. I'm like, the fuck he is.
Right.
Nobody will ensure that. That's horrifying. But he has a wonderful career ahead of him. He's only 24. Yeah. The NFL will embrace him and utilize him completely.
Yeah.
Tom Brady is getting like $170 million.
It's more than that. It's 300. $310 million for a 10-year contract.
To talk about football?
Yeah. I'm living for it.
Oh my God. Why did he not want to do that last year? Was he negotiating and this is what he decided to do?
No.
He's like, you know what? Screw you guys. I'm just going to play another year of football.
I think he really thought...
come back with a better offer.
I don't think that was it. I honestly think, well, it could be, but I mean, I honestly think he just thought he had a semi-crappy year. He didn't go to the Super Bowl and he's like, I can do it. I can do it. Yeah. But the divorce killed him. He couldn't do it.
Stephanie, he lost like 40 pounds.
He
looked like that guy on Thinner.
Yeah. I mean,
remember that movie? Yes. Stephen King movie? He looks like he was just wasting away and everybody's like, Gazelle's a witch. She's just pulling his life force away.
No, you know what? She was just done. I just think they were.
I think that he actually really loves his family.
I do too.
I think he loved her, but she's like, no, you chose you over us. And I told
way
you
too long. Yeah, it wasn't even like this last year when he unretired. No,
when you dropped the nugget a couple of years ago, and you said, "I'm telling you, they're divorcing," and I was like, "Really?" And and you were on the money.
I knew it because I knew he was way too
so right.
He's too selfish to give up what he loves,
and ego's a big thing.
It's a big thing, and the thing is it takes a very special kind of woman to live behind the scenes behind somebody that's so public like that and who so loves his sport. But there's a lot of women who do it. I mean,
Gazelle is just not some woman either.
She's not.
She's an international model. Supermodel.
She had her own career and everything. Oh, yeah. So that's, in the beginning they meshed because I think they had that likeness.
Yeah, and then they had kids.
And then
someone's got to take care of them.
Yeah, well, and I think she feels like, look, I gave up all the things that you've been getting to do all these years and to raise our family. And guess what? The kids are older now. I'm done. Like, I would
like to resume my endorsements in my life.
Because I mean, how old is she? 40?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Is she in her 40? I don't even know.
Barely.
She's stunning. It doesn't even matter. She's ageless.
She's still young in my mind is what I was saying. She still has a lot of her life ahead of her. She can still have a career.
And did you see his adult child that he had with Bridget Monahan, who's another stunning woman?
Yes, she is.
They were photographed together this last week or so, celebrating, I think, a graduation or a birthday or something like that. And I'm like, well, they are a handsome couple.
Right.
I mean, what's
so much
there?
So. I don't think anything.
It looked a little... It looked comfortable.
I mean, you know what?
It just looked comfortable. Like they've known each other forever.
And they have.
And Giselle and Bridget have co-parented together for a long time. A very long time.
Yeah, they're probably friends.
Can you imagine?
What?
Can you imagine
two of them plotting against?
No, can you imagine being friends with your husband's ex? And raising children together?
I mean, I could do it if I had to, but no, I wouldn't want to.
It would require sanity on all levels.
I mean, here's the thing. I give mad respect for both of those women for being able to do it because when I got divorced...
What choice do they have?
Well, they do, actually, because my ex's new wife was a cunt when my daughter was a child.
So was mine.
And treated her like shit.
Yeah.
And it was like, she was so lucky there was 3,000 miles between us because I would have buried her had she been in front of me.
Yeah.
Now, she made a choice, though. She could have chosen to embrace my daughter and raise her with love and respect for the family that she came from. But she chose to be a jealous, vindictive bitch.
Yeah, that's true. I guess two women have to kind of put aside everything.
Totally. So the fact that these two were able to do it and raise each other's, kids. Or have,
yeah, it's true.
That's a big deal.
I wonder if it's because Tom and Bridget were never married.
No, they weren't, but they were that's true. They were very serious.
And when he started dating her, she was pregnant. So it's kind of a different scenario. I don't know. What do I know? I don't know anything. Oh my God.
We don't know these people personally.
So Pamela Anderson's book just came out,
Did you watch it?
And she's doing... No, I didn't watch the documentary.
I'm dying to watch it. But I've heard it's really good.
But a book is coming out or has come out So she's doing the tour. She's doing the publicity tour of everything. And so far, my favorite interview that she's done was with Howard Stern.
Oh, really? I saw parts of it.
He's so good.
Sometimes he pisses me off. I can't help but hold grudges against him from the past, but I know he's not like that anymore.
People are allowed to change. He's been in a ton of therapy. Yes.
I agree.
And antidepressants and all the things that you all need to be normal. But anyway, but the interview was amazing. And this I don't know what it is, but he makes women feel very comfortable in the studio.
That's so interesting to me. How ironic. Because he used to be such a misogynist asshole. I couldn't even listen to him.
Maybe it's active. Maybe he's actively making it possible.
I hope so.
Because I've seen him interview Pink. I've seen him interview Lady Gaga and now Pamela Anderson.
Everybody goes on. Nobody's not going to be on his show. So he must not be horrible.
There was a couple of other women I've seen interviewed and they're so comfortable. They're leaned back. They're relaxed. And these are women who are very strong personalities who take zero shit from men.
Right.
Anyway, so that interview was great. She was talking about, and I really got her. I think it's because she's our age range.
I love her.
I love Pamela Anderson.
Which is so funny how
I've always loved her, though.
I know I have too. She was so gorgeous before, and she's still gorgeous, by the way. Yes. Yeah. But I mean, before in the past, the way that celebrities were portrayed,
so different.
Yeah. Like they didn't want you to know the human being.
No, they didn't
the personality.
They just wanted you to see the brand, the boobs, the blonde.
And so that's all you ever knew about these women who were actually quite complex, intelligent creatures. Right. And now that they're a little bit older, everyone's like, okay, now we don't care about your body and your boobs. Now we can hear what you have to say.
Right. But
thank you.
Speaking of ex-wives and new wives, so
Tommy's new wife,
Tommy Lee is married to a woman named Brittany.
Yeah,
and
God, she looks so young.
She does look young. I think she's gorgeous.
She's gorgeous. Would he be with somebody ugly? I can't imagine.
No, you're right.
Come on.
But Pamela has made it crystal clear in her book and her documentary that Tommy's the love of her life.
Yeah, I know.
And it's because she goes, I got the most amazing gifts from him, my children. And that is why he's the love of my life. But we had this insane love affair.
They did.
It was love at first sight, blah, blah, blah. And we can to death, we know the story.
Yeah.
But Brittany decided that it was important for her to go public now. And I'm like, why did you do that?
She didn't have to do that.
I wish she hadn't, because the problem is that
petty.
And Pam's like, I am all in on them. I'm glad Tommy's happy. I'm happy for their marriage. They're very happy together. Yep. But what's funny is it's like, this guy is an asshole.
He's an asshole and he's gross.
So gross. And he's such a pig. And, he's still, from what I've read, he cheats on his wife.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
And, it's like, what these two stunning women have put this guy on some kind of pedestal. I'm like, is the dick really worth it, girls? Because Pam got the best out of him.
Oh, for sure. And I was literally just thinking that. Not only that, but she got him when he was young, the most famous he was ever going to be. I mean,
it just reeks of enablism. Like, these women are like, what are you doing? This is just he looks like he's been pulled out of a drain.
I know.
And you two are stunning, smart, and
what's
talented
that guy's
women.
Name that's on?
What are you doing?
The Rolling Stones, the one that looks like he's walking death.
Mick Jagger. Oh, no, not Keith Richards.
Yes. This is going to be Tommy Lee. They almost look the same. Yet Keith Richards is like 80.
They do look
Tommy
related.
Lee's only like 55.
Honestly, Tommy Lee's going to be in the next Pirates of the Caribbean. It's going to be Johnny Depp's dad. And Johnny Depp's is older, and it still doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm just like, ladies. I'm like, Pam has a right to tell her story.
She does.
And I'm glad she did.
I'm really glad. In fact, I'm going to try really hard to watch her documentary when I get home today.
Yes.
Because it's light. It's not going to be heavy.
And her son did it, which I think is beautiful. I just love it. And I'm like, you know what? I love that more than anything is that she has good relationships with her kids.
And they love her. And you know what? That says so much.
It does.
It really does. It tells the kind of mother you were, the kind of person you are.
Oh, yeah.
Your
kids in adulthood are your receipts.
For sure.
Hardcore. And I tell my kids, because I'm so fucking paranoid, I'm like,
Jamie,
my biggest concern is that you guys will never speak to me again.
Yeah,
and
me too.
I hate it. And they're like, Mom, we would have done it already. And I'm like, okay, fine.
That's probably true.
Fine. I just, I do get worried, but I've tried really, really hard to just be communicative, allow them to have emotions, allow them to express themselves.
Yeah, those TikToks you've been sending me, we literally watch the exact same videos.
I know.
I'm like, it's just funny to me that
I just like, I'm like, I know Stephanie relates to this.
I do. And I'm like, I literally
them.
watched this like an hour ago. I'm like the same. And I was like, should I send it to Jamie? I'm like, you know what? Wait, she'll probably send it to me. You sent it to me.
I know, but send it to me. I don't care. I mean, I love it. You know, what's funny is Malia and I send each other literally the same TikToks because we send each other these insane animals, these cats and stuff.
God, I love that stuff.
I do too. TikTok is going to be, it's going to be sad if it gets taken away from us.
Yeah.
Someone's going to have to replicate it because Reels on Instagram blows.
Yeah. Well, Jeff watches YouTube
Reels.
Shorts. That's his thing because they're very much like TikTok, but it's YouTube and they're short. So they're literally like a minute or two long.
Amazon apparently is getting into the quote unquote TikTok game. Apparently,
aren't they into?
You can download or you can add tiny snippets of stuff. And I'm like, I don't know if it's video or audio, but I'm like, I read it yesterday. I'm like, okay, I'm going to have to check that out.
Yeah.
Because that's new.
I haven't got to that yet.
I think I sound like a smoking woman right now. My voice is so low.
I'm stuffed up. Well, we both confessed to having adult beverages last night.
Okay. So I know that you and Jerry,
it makes me stuffy.
Oh, hardcore. You and Jerry probably do this or have done this in the past where you go through kind of phases, right?
Yeah.
So
for sure.
On Friday night, we had a rye Manhattan.
Yummy.
They're delicious.
Yeah.
And we enjoyed it. And now I've been really, really good about cutting back. So we had one and we were done.
Good.
Went to bed. Everything woke up fine. Felt great. Whatever. Yeah. So last night, I don't know. We just went unhinged. And we had, Friday night we had McDonald's.
Oh,
which
God.
I know. I can't believe it. And then Saturday, last night, we had Adalberto's.
Oh, God.
We had tacos.
I almost stopped there on my way here this morning.
Oh, my God.
But I opted for, the 6,000 calorie box of donuts.
Yeah. And
that was a better alternative.
I'm like, he goes, I'm going to go get tacos. You want tacos? And I'm like, what? Yes. And
hell yes.
He left and I don't even know how late it was. I had lost all concept of time.
That's why we love Adalberto's because they're open 24 hours a day.
And
Legit.
I go, it's late. Are you going out? And he's like, it's not that late. I'm like, it's not? I don't even know what time it is because we had 2 more Manhattans.
If it's dark outside, it's like, it's late.
I had no idea. Like, and I know this is not your thing, but it's like we had sex at like 5 o'clock in the afternoon.
Oh, wonderful!
It was amazing, and I'm like, what?
No one was home.
No one was home. This is the thrill of empty nesting, by the way.
I know. Well, you technically aren't completely empty.
No, but she's hardly ever here.
Oh, really?
And she's moving out in a few weeks.
I mean, I'm not happy. I'm just like, oh no.
I know. And when I think about it, I get a little sad, but I'm all, this is kind of like
not that sad.
It's kind of like when you hit menopause. I'm not in menopause completely. I'm not officially in menopause. I'm perimenopausal, everyone.
She's perimenopausal.
Most people are, by the way. Most women are perimenopausal by 35. They just don't want to admit it, but it's true.
Yeah.
So
that's why they say guys have ED starting in like the 30s.
Yeah, because
they start losing testosterone. Yeah.
So we
all hate to admit that that's when life is like starting to end.
You know what? Most people were dead by 30 a long time ago. So the fact that we're living
Charles
longer,
Ingalls was like 44 when he died,
and he looked like an old man. Yeah, he was a great grandfather when he died at 40.
Right.
But anyway, we were standing in the kitchen having our Manhattans, and I said, it's really weird because my periods are not normal anymore.
Right.
By the way, if you're a man and you don't want to listen to this, fast forward. I don't care.
It is reality, though. People.
And I said, it's weird because on one hand, I'm relieved that I don't have to buy tampons regularly anymore, which is nice.
Yeah.
I go, but on the other hand, I don't know if I'm sad or if it's just I have to admit that that part of my life is over. Ugh. And I just have to deal with it. I go, but the silver lining is kind of a platinum lining because you can have sex whenever you want. There's no, I'm on my period for 5 days or whatever. There's no ovulating cramps. There's no all that shit. I go, but
a lot of shit.
Like I told him, I go, you think I'm going to get a beard? Is my hair going to thin?
You know what's so funny?
What's going to happen after that?
Last night I had a dream.
I was kind of scared.
I had a dream last night that I was talking to my ex-husband in person. His new wife came up, and now this person in my dream doesn't look anything like his new wife. So I'm trying to be polite. So as I'm talking to her, I'm like, God, she's really ugly. And she had full stubble, like a 2-day, like a guy would for not shaving for 2 days. And I was like staring at it. And then I'm looking at my ex and I'm like, my God, really? Like you kissed that and everything, and then I woke up and I'm like, wow,
I am
so crazy.
It's because it's a reality.
I don't know if she has a beard.
Well, no, I don't mean this woman particularly. I mean in general. But I'm just like, am I going to have like a thickened hair covering on my face or
electrolysis if you do.
Dude, I will fucking wax that shit. I'll do whatever.
Yeah, well, like the Kardashians, everything is electronically removed. They're hairless.
Like they're dolphins.
They are.
They're just dolphins walking around.
Totally, yeah. So,
but yeah, I was just thinking about.
They don't shave anymore though.
So I told her, I'm like, do you think that's going to happen to me? He's like, I don't even know how to approach you.
Does mom have fur
when you talk like this? I don't know. I don't think so. But I never looked up close.
Well, I mean, a lot of this stuff is genetic. So I
will say this:
Dad is hairless for a Mexican.
He truly, all Mexicans are hairless.
Is that true?
I've never met a hairy Mexican man in my life.
Okay, good.
I mean, there's hair, but it's not.
No. I mean, like, you know how there's those guys that have the thick black, like, arm hair, leg hair, and it's on their fucking back. It's everywhere. It's
people from Mexico specifically, I have not seen a lot of hair. Now, other, you know, Latin people maybe. But I've never seen any.
I never specifically tried to like look or whatever. But I do remember Dad was not a hairy man.
Not a hair on his chest.
No, which is
nothing.
Great.
Anyway, yeah. So I'm like, I don't know. Do you think that's going to be me? He's like, I just don't even know how to discuss life with you. He's like, why do you say things like this?
Well, why don't you just participate in the conversation and come to my world and be like, am I? Do I look like a girl? Like, be honest with me.
Yeah,
you can tell.
I'm like, am I thinning?
Okay, no, you don't want to say anything bad about me. Fine.
No, I know.
Which is why he doesn't like indulging in those conversations because they're just dangerous.
He's like, it's a trap. And I'm like, it's not a trap. But you know what? It is. Because one time, and I actually started crying in the car.
God, see?
The other day.
Oh, no.
It was just the other day. And
poor Daryl.
You know what? Fuck that. He can become a little in tune. But anyway, so we got this rowing machine.
I think he's very in tune.
Well, he has no choice.
Well, I'm just saying, like, you know.
So
he just never knows what's going to happen next.
You know what? That's probably why he stays with me.
It's true.
Anyway.
Jerry too.
So we have this rowing machine. We got it.
Yes, we've talked about the rowing machine. Christmas.
Yes. So we have been diligent. We've been doing it. I've been working out almost every day.
Yeah. You said you really like it and that you've seen a big difference.
Well, yes, but this was on Monday, and I just finished working out, came downstairs, and I was really visibly upset. And he goes, "What's going on?" I go, I've been doing this fucking rowing machine for 3 weeks in a row.
Now it's not doing a thing.
And
right?
I go, and there's nothing. I put on clothes, and they still don't fit right. And I'm like, what the hell is going on?
Why am I doing this?
I'm like, this is insane. I'm like, now I know that internally I'm doing better, but I mean, I'm not seeing the physical results I want to see.
3 weeks.
Yeah.
Really?
I know. I'm aware of what I'm saying.
Okay.
I hear it.
Just saying, you know.
And I even said that to myself later.
You're like 3 weeks.
But in the moment, I'm like, if
I should be 10 pounds lighter.
If I was in my 30s, this would be a humongous difference. There'd be a huge difference. So anyway, and I go, I eat like a fucking bird.
I know. I'm hungry constantly. I live on coffee and alcohol.
My whole world revolves around liquids.
I'm seriously.
100%. So I'm like, I'm just doing this and I'm working out every day and nothing. I'm feeling no changes. And he's like, I've been telling you that your body's been looking good for the couple of days and I mean it. And I said, you don't matter. I matter. And I said, so I'm working out every day, da, da, da. And then he says, well, maybe we're not working out long enough. Maybe we need to work out more than, 30 minutes a day. Maybe we need to up it to 40 minutes a day. Now in my brain, in my animal brain, I hear, you're not working out long enough every day. You need to do it more, double down, blah, 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 because I'm insane. So we're in the car and we're on our way.
I'm just hearing like, no, maybe he's right. Like, I'm not thinking you're not working out long enough.
It's both of us. He starts
being inclusive.
Well, and he's talking about himself.
Correct.
Mostly. And, because he always does that and I forget. And so we're in the car and I go,
oh no.
When we're talking about the rowing machine and because he had said something else, I go, not everything is about you. I go, sometimes I'm just speaking and I need you just to go, yeah,
right.
or whatever.
I don't need a response.
I don't need you to solve it or include yourself in it because what I heard was.
Or validate or invalidate what I'm saying. Yeah, if I'm having an insecurity.
Right. Which I was at the moment because I had tried on a pair of jeans that I thought would fit. They don't. And because I'm one of those moron women who saves pants that don't fit anymore.
So do I.
From 3 years ago that I'm like, I'm getting into these.
I will fit these again.
And the thing is they never fit right. And they fit when I was morning skinny one day at 3 years ago.
Well, I
know what I mean?
Our bodies are constantly changing.
Constantly.
And not just your weight.
Well, the problem is I refuse to admit that I have big hips and a big ass. So I think everything should fit me.
Yeah.
And it doesn't.
I don't think you have big hips.
I do, actually.
You've always had a butt.
Super high waist, big, wider hips down below, and a big butt.
Have you ever actually like measured yourself?
Yes.
Oh, you have. See, I have not. When I'm reading all these sizes, like when I'm trying to buy something online, I'm like, I don't know how wide.
Get a tape measure.
I know.
I don't want to, but no. Anyway, I always buy too big. Always.
And a lot of women, when they're giving reviews on things, they're very specific about what their body shape is. I'm like, how do you know that?
Because they do the work.
Yeah,
we don't.
I don't.
We just eyeball it.
They're like, well, I'm hourglass. I have this and that, blah, blah, blah. You know, I'm pear shaped. I'm like, how do you know?
Yeah,
I don't know what shape I am.
I'm like, well, I'm
just fat.
Right?
I'm like, I just don't.
But what I've really come to know is that, so I'm in the car and I'm like, when I told you, and I go, and you said what you said, I go, all I heard was, yeah, you need to work out more for sure. That's what I heard. And I'm all, Daryl's like, oh God. He's like, oh my God. He's like, no, I was saying that I probably needed to work out more because we're lowballing.
But of course, anything he says at this point is a lie.
Feels like it.
And he's just making up excuses for being insensitive.
And I'm like, I'm just trying so hard. And he's just like, oh God, what's he going to say?
There's probably nothing he could say.
And then I'm like, red light! God, slow down! Slow down! God, you're going to kill us! But anyway.
I don't know what he could have said. I'm trying to think of, yeah.
He apologized because what else is he going to do?
I mean,
he apologized. He's like, I'm sorry, you're right. I shouldn't have thought of myself. I should have thought that you were talking about you and I shouldn't have said that. And, but I was just trying to say, hey, we're in the same boat. I'm like, but we're not in the same boat.
Okay, you know what? And here's the thing. I guess I can say this because I know you so well.
Yes.
On that particular issue.
Yes.
It is such a sensitive topic. Ugh. And sometimes it is and sometimes it isn't. Sometimes you're like totally fine with like, you know what? It is what I don't give a fuck.
Right.
But other times you're like, if you say one thing, I am going to start bawling or smash you in the face. Yes. So, I mean, for him, he just has to assume that it's always going to be a sensitive topic.
Yeah.
And maybe it's unreasonably sensitive.
He goes, and his default is, that I think you look amazing.
Exactly.
I don't know why we're having this discussion.
Exactly.
Why are you talking to me about this? I'm like, because you're the person in the room.
And he's the person that you could most discuss this with, right? He's your best friend. I mean, he's your...
he's who I get drunk with. So
yeah. Honestly, as much as you guys, the listeners, don't hear it as much. Every once in a while, you hear a glimpse of me saying something about my husband, and you're probably like, "Oof, God, cringe."
Here we go. She's gonna talk shit about her husband,
right? And when I do, it's like vicious. Some people kind of look at me like, "God, why are you married?" You say these things, and I'm like, well,
because most of the time it's really fun.
Yes, and I mean, I know it sounds bad, but I don't necessarily feel the way that I describe things all the time.
Well,
or I'm having a moment.
Who cares? You can say whatever you want.
Right. So. But that's the thing is, as much as it hurts me, it pangs me to say it. Jerry is my best friend.
Of course.
And we do, when it comes to stuff like that, I can tell him fucking anything.
Yeah, I can tell him anything too.
I can confess my deepest insecurities.
Mm-hmm. It's true.
And he doesn't judge me.
My new thing is I think I've been taking too much melatonin when I go to bed.
Are you feeling drugged in the morning?
No, but I wake up having these insane dreams.
Oh, yeah.
So like I woke up yesterday or the day before, I woke up and he's like, good morning. I'm like, good morning. I'm like, I dreamt that I flew a helicopter today. He's like, he goes, this is crazy. I go, yeah. And it was really good too. I was figuring it out.
It's fun.
I could do it. And it was amazing. I go, I've never done it before, but I figured it out.
Yeah.
In my dream.
I love, I love hate my dreams.
Yeah.
Because most of the time they're not good, but the ones that are, I think we've talked about this before. I can do the lucid dreaming thing where I know I'm dreaming.
Absolutely.
Right.
And then you can do anything.
And I love it.
It's freedom.
And then all I do is try to make it last as long as I can because I'm like, I know I'm going to wake up. Don't do it.
I'm going to wake up and just be dumb me.
Well, and then I can't get back to what I'm doing right now. Yeah. Like whatever it is.
It's so fun.
Yeah.
Okay. So blah, blah, blah. Oh, this was something before we go into any, I don't know if you have an ugly and awkward moment. I definitely have one. It's okay.
No, as you talk, I'll think of something I did that was awkward.
I don't know what it was that made me think this, but I think it was something I was reading or whatever. Someone had a run-in with a celebrity. They're like, oh my God, I know what it was. There's this Instagram account and it's called Disney Celebs. And basically, it's if you see a celebrity at Disneyland and you take a picture or a video, then you can submit it and they'll go, hey, look who was Cher was at Disneyland last week for some weird reason.
Yeah.
And she's wandering around looking barely coherent, and she's got her host and, she's surrounded by the throng. I know, but why was she at Disneyland of all places?
Who knows?
It was weird. Anyway.
Yeah. I'm always surprised at how many celebrities go to Disneyland just as themselves
Of course, with their family or whatever.
Yeah.
And I did learn a hint that if you go to Disneyland and you're just kind of chilling, if you see a quote unquote host, they're usually wearing like a plaid vest.
What's a host?
Somebody who basically it's a VIP who they basically escort you through the park and you cut all the
celebrities,
lines.
I assume, do this?
Celebrities are incredibly wealthy people where you can just cut through the lines. There's like back entrances to all the rides and you just get on before anybody else.
And you pay for it, right?
A lot.
Okay, good. I'm like, they don't get to do this just because they're special, right?
In fact, you can look into it and it's like, I think it's like $5,000 for 2 people.
That's not that bad. Oh, he is not even playing around.
Oh my God.
He's like, bitch, I'm coming in.
He escaped, climbed the roof to get into this room.
Have you ever seen him do that before?
Once before.
Jamie's cat is on the roof
trying
outside.
to get into his room. He is such a stubborn
We're on the second floor and it's quite high.
That little shitbag.
And all of a sudden we see this little black face in the window.
There's a black animal.
He looked at me like,
so anyway,
hello.
Baxter, get the hell out of here. God, he's just gonna walk. He's gonna pace back and forth. Anyway,
he knows everything's clean. He's like, wait,
I want to roll around and get my fur on everything. So they say that if you see a host with a plaid vest, take a look at who they're with because likely it will be a celebrity.
Right.
So I was thinking, I'm like, oh, you know what? Have I ever had any actual celebrity interactions?
Yeah.
And I have.
I think we covered this on a show.
No, I don't.
When you met Don Henley?
No, I didn't really meet Don Henley. That was in it. That was not. No, somebody suggested I could meet Don Henley, and I never met.
See,
Don
I thought you
Henley.
actually met him.
God,
we met Warren.
I would remember that. Well,
they're
anyway,
not huge. They're not A-list, right?
Well, he's dead now too.
Well,
but
right.
no. But my question is: have you ever had outside of that? Have you ever had an interaction with a celebrity of any kind? Now, I have one, and it's not great, but it's funny. And I was with Mom at Trader Joe's. So,
Lord.
But on that second note,
I don't think I've heard this story.
No, I've never told you. But the first thing I want to say is the VIP thing at Disneyland. I had learned that, and then Daryl and I went to Disneyland with.
You saw a plaid vest?
Yeah, saw a plaid vest, and then behind her were 4 people, like 2 couples. And I turned and I looked, and we were in line at Alice in Wonderland, and that's a great ride, by the way. I love it. And they're walking the back way to who knows what, and I turn and I look, and I'm like, wait a minute, I know that person, covered in tattoos, piercings. I'm like, who is that? I go, oh,
Travis Barker?
I thought it was Travis Barker too. It was Michael Voltaggio. First of all, he's not as tall as I thought.
He just got married.
I know, and she was there, stunning.
She is stunning.
And
she's somebody too.
But it wasn't her. It wasn't his brother. I think
she's in fashion. I don't know what she does.
I don't know, but she's very pretty.
She's somebody though. I mean, she's like, she runs in circle in celebrity circles.
Yes,
in fashion.
But I was like, God damn, Michael Voltaggio is not as tall as I expected.
Is he short?
No, he's not super short. But I always thought he was like 6'4". He looks so tall.
Well, his brother's tall.
Yes, but it wasn't his brother. And so I was like,
well, they look very different.
I'm like, he's very tattooed, starters. And he looks like a rock star.
And he's thin. I know. He's not, he's literally my exact type that I have been going for since birth.
Yes. And and I
don't know why.
He's very attractive.
Yeah.
He's a very attractive man.
He's so sexy to me. I don't know what it is about him. Well, I've seen him on so many different shows, and he's obviously, as he's become more well known over the years, he's gotten better looking, and he's got, what's the word? They polish up. Yeah.
They man out and they start to look like a man and not a boy. And then the second one was last year. Daryl and I, we go to Bottle Rock every year in Napa. It's a great festival.
I know.
So many things.
I love watching videos about it.
So we were walking on our way. We were from our hotel. We were walking to the festival. And it was kind of warm, and I was just walking and you know how much I love walking. So we're walking. I'm like, you know what?
Why can't they have little carriages that drive you around?
They have
golf carts.
They have people who are on bikes, and you can pay like $40.
Like you do in Thailand?
Yes. And I refuse to do that.
I'm not doing it.
I'm not doing it because they look like carnies. And
I'm just not doing it. Yeah, that's why I don't do it either.
What if he takes us down an alley? What are we going to do?
To me, it's not even that. It's like, am I so lazy that I can't even move my legs?
Right.
That I have to have somebody kill themselves on a bike just so I don't have to move?
It's dumb. And so...
not doing it.
And on top of it, there is a shortcut. You can walk on these train tracks over a bridge, and it takes off a whole ton of time. But Daryl didn't want to do it because it's dangerous, and there's a sign that says, no, you can't walk through there. I'm like, do you see the hundreds of people walking across this bridge?
Oh, but he didn't want to break the rules?
He didn't want to break the rules. He didn't want to do it. And I go, you know what? I'm doing it. And he was like, we're not doing it. We're not doing it. So we did. So the first time we didn't do it, right?
You're like, fine, you gave in. Okay.
So we gave in, and we're walking along the street. We're adding all this extra time to walk all the way around to get onto the street instead of cutting straight through. And I go, there are so many people, and it's huge. Like if a train came and you were on the side, you wouldn't get hit.
Right.
Because you just wouldn't.
It's not, right.
And it's, by the way, it's the wine train. It's not like Amtrak.
It's not going through at 80 miles an hour.
Not only that, but it's rarely on there.
I mean, and not
like twice a day.
Do you think the train operators don't know it's Bottle Rock?
Yeah.
And that there's going to be like 3 billion people walking around?
So we're walking, and I go, it is dumb that we did not walk through that bridge, and we had to walk all the way around. And right when I say that, the train, honk, honk. And I was like,
and Daryl was like,
he was so happy and satisfied with himself, but relented. And when he saw that it was the wine train, we used the bridge from that point forward.
So how long is the bridge?
I don't know, like not that long.
Like how long would it take you to walk across it?
It took us like maybe 2 minutes. It's very short.
Okay.
It's very short. So, but anyway, we're walking.
Now I understand why he didn't want to do it.
Yeah. So we're walking.
Because you're trapped, basically, right? If the train comes, there's nowhere to go. You have to run to get off of it.
Yeah, but the sides, on either sides of the track, there's so much space that you could continue. You would not get hit by anything.
Okay.
Anyway.
I do have a kind of a fear of getting hit by a train.
I wasn't a fan either, but once I realized it was the wine train, I'm like, this isn't coming like every 10 minutes.
No, true.
You know, it's fine. Anyway, so we're walking, having this argument. And he goes, chef. And this guy with like a sun hat on, he goes, hello, and keeps walking. And he was clearly with his mom and his wife, Hispanic. It was Aaron Sanchez.
Oh, how exciting. I was like, hey, Jamie, anybody in the chef, celebrity chef world is at Bottle Rock.
Yeah, because
I follow
the kitchen stadium is amazing, or the kitchen stage.
Well, it's kind of like the who's who. Yes, if you go there, especially in California.
It's Napa.
But
are you kidding?
Napa.
It's the international. It's an international place.
I follow Michael Voltaggio on Instagram.
He's there every year.
Yeah. And this year, because his wife, I think they were married, or they might have been engaged.
They got married last year.
Yeah, so she was there, and so fortunately, she took a bunch of pictures while he was doing his thing.
Oh,
and
I bet they're cool.
Which in the past, when he didn't have a girlfriend, he took pictures, but it was never, it was of his POV,
of course.
And now she's taking them of him doing his thing, and so awesome. I was like, oh my god! And she's backstage, obviously,
of course.
So the pictures were amazing.
I bet they're amazing.
I'm like, God, you lucky
crowds. So yeah,
not just because she's married to him, but also just because how fun.
What a fun life, right?
How exciting.
Yeah. So Mom and I, this was must have been 10 years ago.
At least.
We were at Trader Joe's. Why would I be at Trader Joe's? I don't even know. I think we actually ran into each other at Trader Joe's. I think that's what happened. And so we were walking around going, oh, what are you getting? Oh, what are you getting? And I'm like, yeah, I don't know about this meat or whatever. We were talking about buying meat at Trader Joe's.
Mom's a meat
expert. And I go, well, it's organic. I mean, I don't know. And then this gentleman who was very attractive, definitely mom's age-ish. And he goes, he's like, it doesn't really matter where you get it. It all comes from the same manufacturer. Organic's organic, yes, but blah, blah, blah. And he's like, so don't overpay for it because and he's very like articulate.
Yeah.
And Mom immediately, she's like, oh, well, thank you so much. And of course he's just like smitten.
Everybody's smitten with mother.
That's because she's a blonde and
she's cute
and she's pretty. Yeah.
And when you see a woman of mother's age,
she looks like Martha Stewart.
Oh God, 100%.
They're like freaking doppelgangers practically.
I know. I like Martha Stewart cannot die ever. Like she just can't.
So gorgeous.
She's so gorgeous. Yeah.
So she's like, well, thank you so much. She goes, yeah, you're welcome. She turns to me, do you know who that was? I'm like, no. Some guy who's flirting with my mother at Trader Joe's. And she goes, that was Captain Carrot.
Wow.
And I was like, okay, everyone Google Captain Carrot.
Yeah, because all these people
are like,
who?
What? they probably were very like,
I mean, I know.
I'm like, no.
Well, I was like, that's all it was.
I know. Well,
no, but still.
If it had been anyone else, I would have told you a million years ago.
And honestly, if anybody knows or knew, if you could relate with Captain where we live in Sacramento, okay? And Jamie lives in the suburbs. So do I. Jamie lives in the suburbs of where the kind of rich people, but the kind of not rich people live.
Most of my neighbors are retired teachers. So.
Oh, okay. Well, anyway, so run into any type of celebrity
up here
in the Trader Joe's that she goes to.
It was hilarious. And so I was like, oh, and then I'm like, well, is he leaving? Because I'm uncomfortable now. I want him to go away. I don't want to run into him again.
I don't want to
weird.
keep talking to you.
Ugh. Anyway, it was Captain Carrot.
Did he have red hair?
No, it was like a blondish brown. Okay. I don't know.
Why did they call him Captain Carrot?
That was his name when he was on TV.
I know, but why?
I don't know. Well, if I recall, it's been a very.
Did he do a lot of juicing?
We were children, and so I don't really remember so much. But he was basically before anyone else. I think he was on like Channel 3 or something.
Oh, was it PBS?
No, he was on like a local news, and he used to be really big on go to the farmer's market.
Did he do like the food segments on like the news?
Yeah, but he was
like a 5-minute.
He was
segment.
all about nutrition.
Yeah, like the produce guy.
Yeah, but he was just like, you have to eat more vegetables. You have to eat better lean meats. Stop eating ground beef. You know, because back in the 70s,
that was what we had.
It was meat and potatoes, and you know, everybody had soda and juice and
true.
And he's
Kool-Aid.
like, no, you guys have to do better.
Yeah.
And so he was like the first one to say, please, people, eat some grains.
To what's the word? Advocate for healthy.
Do you know how much sugar's in an apple? Like that's who he was.
Yeah.
You know, he's like, you got to eat more greens and blah blah blah, and everybody's like, whatever, Captain Carrot. But now it's like, God, you know, and he's like, I don't get the credit I deserve.
Now you go to the donut shop in the morning, and there's someone standing next to you dying for the vegan donut of the day.
Exactly.
I thought it was a joke.
No,
and you're like, no, that place is the place.
That's what they're known for. Everybody who practices veganism goes there for their donut.
Well. Anyway,
there you go.
It was odd.
Yes, it was odd.
She's making me. So they sell chocolate bars, and if you want them with whipped cream in them, they make a canal in the middle of it.
Oh my god!
And they shove it through with whipped cream, and they do it right there in front of you. So this guy's ordering a vegan donut. She's like, "Is that enough whipped cream for you?" I'm like, "Yep."
Make sure there's a lot of cow in that, huh? I want pure milk in that.
I'm over there and I'm rolling my eyes at him like, ugh,
and
really?
I'd be like, you know what? If the cow suffered on top of it, it would make it all the more tasty. So please.
Because when they're stressed, they're oilier.
That's just funny. All right. So who did you meet? Have you had an interaction with a celebrity?
Yeah.
Who?
I thought I told it on the show before I met Michael Douglas.
We did have that discussion about Michael Douglas.
Yeah. So I met him. I shook his hand. I had a conversation with him.
He wasn't with Catherine yet though, right?
No.
Okay.
This was at the premiere of Basic Instinct.
Oh my God. Was Sharon Stone there?
If
she was, you probably didn't notice.
She was not who I was looking for. And as a matter of fact, I told you I was with my bestie at the time who lived in Monterey. And that's where the premiere was. In case everybody wants to know. Monterey Bay, Carmel, literally one of the richest cities, or is it a city? It's just small, but yeah.
Clint Eastwood was a mayor of Carmel.
Yeah. Anyway, uber rich, and he couldn't have been nicer.
Of course.
He was very polite. I'm sure we looked like we were children.
Little ragtags.
I was 18. So
they're like, hello, small children. What are you doing here?
Looking at us like, how are you at my black tie premiere?
Where's your mother?
Walking around in your, Are you
guys dishwashers?
I mean, no, we were all dressed up because we were going to a party, thank God.
Yes.
I mean, but I can only imagine what our version of dressed up was.
You guys look like baby deer.
He was like in a, Christian Dior black or an Armani, tuxedo, and we were who knows what we were wearing.
Baxter, get the hell out of here!
Oh my God! So anyway, yeah, he was very nice, very pleasant.
So funny.
He is as gorgeous as you would imagine he would be in real life.
Oh yeah, Baxter, no, get out!
I wish we could. Oh my God!
I'm not letting him in. You are unbelievable.
Oh my God!
Anyway. That's right. We did discuss we did discuss it. All right. Well,
it's a pretty major one, actually.
Oh, I would agree.
He's a pretty big star.
I say it's better than Captain Carrot.
I agree.
For sure.
Yeah. We've had our fair share of elbow rubs with some athletes, but as far as like celebs, like movie stars and stuff, not so much.
Yeah, I guess so, huh? Oh yeah, when we were kids, we had
Jerry met Michael Jordan. He didn't know who he was. At a gas station.
Awesome.
Until he saw him walk back to because Michael Jordan is into racing, car racing.
He's into everything.
Yeah. And so there was this huge semi truck outside, fully, all painted, all, like if you can imagine.
Yeah.
With his race car in it.
Oh, how funny.
And he saw him walking out to it to get in it after he had some kind of interaction with him at the gas station. And he was like, why is that guy that I was just talking to getting in that, he goes, and the thing that was jarring to him was he couldn't figure out why this guy was so tall.
Oh, geez.
He's like, I've never seen anyone so tall before. And I'm like,
crazy.
And it never crossed your mind that
it never occurred to you he might be a professional basketball player?
African-American tall guy,
He might just be a pro athlete.
So then he realized, he's like, that was Michael Jordan. He's like, I'm such an idiot. I was like, yes, you are.
Although I think that celebrities love it when people don't really
when they can
register,
just blend in,
where they just go, oh, hey, how's it going? You're like, oh, I'm fine. They're like, okay, see you later. You're like
Daryl.
Who was that? Okay, that was Obama, Barack Obama. What?
I'm Captain Lee. Are you famous?
Oh God, that was so funny when Daryl met Captain Lee.
Yes, you have no idea. That story will live forever in
your
my
mind.
head. Yes.
I know.
Because I'm like, God, why could that happen to me? Although I would have recognized him, and then the moment wouldn't have been the same.
Well, and not only that, but I mean, women like you did approach him at one point.
Yeah.
And they're like, we love you. Can we have your autograph? He's like, absolutely, sure. Can we have a selfie? Yes. He didn't care.
Because he's not one of those.
The back of Daryl's ear was probably in half those selfies. They're like, who's that guy back there? That ear guy? I don't know. Anyway, all right.
Would have been so amazing if he would have photobombed it.
Do you have an ugly and awkward moment?
God, that sounded like me. I'm like, and then you're like, wee. It's like, oh my God, did you just record me?
No, I would never.
I did walk in.
I don't like that one. I'm going to tell Daryl to change. I hate it.
Okay.
It feels ugly. I don't like it.
It feels ugly?
I don't know.
Then it's appropriate.
But not in a good way. Like in a dumb way.
It kind of sounds like if you were walking down Disneyland Main Street and you walk by a certain shop, you might hear that song.
You're like,
playing.
ew, don't go in there.
Yeah, it's like
crap.
Yeah. So I have a really, really, really good friend at work who's a supervisor, and supervisors have their own offices. I am regularly welcomed in there. I usually will go in there and hide, actually, and like shut her door, and we'll talk forever, and then I'll go back to work. So usually what I'll do is I'll go up to her window and to see like, is she on an important call, or is that like, before I walk in. So I walk in and I see somebody sitting there with their back to me that I recognize as another supervisor who I've also gone in there with, and the three of us will bullshit. So she looks at me, she waves, and I walk in.
Uh-oh.
Well, guess what? It wasn't the person.
Oh, shoot.
That I thought it was.
You're like, hello.
It was some random, and I walked in, I'm like, what are you guys doing? That stupid look on my face, like smiling.
No. And Veronica's like,
she looked at me like, why are you walking in my, like, seriously? Like, she wasn't mad, but she had
to be a supervisor.
She could tell that I didn't, like, duh,
Yeah.
Like,
she's like, again, Stephanie,
right?
Again,
she's
with
like,
this.
well, you know what? It's Stephanie. She is awkward.
She just does this all the time.
So the person turns around and looks at me like, hello,
and she's like, I'm in the middle of firing her, but
I'm like,
please, by all means.
I'm like backing up. I'm like, goodbye. I shut the door and I walked off, and I was like so embarrassed,
mortifying.
I'm like, why?
And
why do I have to do these things?
I don't know, and I don't know what it is, because it's not like we're rude or
no, it wasn't rude. I just looked like an idiot.
I know. And then the person's like, well, I was literally giving them their third warning.
She probably was too. Like, I have no idea what was going on other than it was a serious conversation that I walked in on.
I hate that.
So, yeah, I felt like a moron, but I have to do it once in a while because I need to be knocked down like 10 pegs.
You always need
at least weekly.
If you have even a little swagger in your sway, you will be humbled immediately.
Like, usually I'll trip or something like that in front of somebody.
Well, that's exactly what happens to me.
Yeah.
So like, it was a while ago, we have this thing where we like to go check the mail, and I don't like going by myself because more than one time I've run into skunks, random animals, just whatever. And I'm like, it's not that I'm afraid, but if I run into a skunk, I'm running, and it's happened to me.
Yes.
And I'm like, and I run in and I'm like, there's a skunk out there. He's like, I'll go do it. And I'm like, no. So we go, he goes, no, I'll go with you. So I'm like, all right, fine. So we always walk to get the mail together. And if it's in the, 8 or 9 o'clock at night, 11 o'clock at night, whatever. I like walking around at night.
Yeah.
And so
like Jeff, he
we
loves
were
it.
on our way back into the house, and he goes, be careful, it's a little slippery. And I go, I'm fine.
Uh-oh.
Because I had my slippers on, and they're a little too big, so I trip over them quite a bit. So I'm like, I'm fine.
Kind of have to scrunch your feet in them to keep them on as you're walking.
So I walk and immediately trip. And if it hadn't been for him in front of me walking into the house, I would have fallen.
Why did you grab him?
I pushed him with my body. I'm like, and I pushed. And he's like, what did I say? I'm like, never mind. I'm sick of being wrong around you. I'm like, God, I'm sick of it.
Oh, God, I love it.
I fall forward more times than I fall backwards.
I broke my ribs, remember? And when we first moved into my new house, and Jeff started laughing. He's so mean. And Jerry's like, no. He looked at Jeff. He's like, no, don't laugh. Like, she's really hurt.
Is this serious?
Yeah.
She could have punctured a lung.
Well, it's one of those things that happens so quickly. It's kind of like a car accident. You get in a car accident, you impact, and then you're like, am I hurt? You have to think about it for a second.
Yeah, you're like, because you're in shock.
Yeah, because it happens, and it happens so quick that it's like, as fast as it's coming, it's over.
Right.
And then you're like, is my body hurt? So... Yeah. It was one of those moments. I'm like, okay, wait, I'm hurt.
Broken ribs suck too, because there's nothing it can do.
What?
Broken ribs, there's nothing really they can do.
No.
You just have to kind of...
And they're quite painful.
I've never broken a rib, and I can't imagine.
Yeah.
It sounds terrible.
It was driving was the hardest part.
Because you're kind of compressed.
You are. You're like the top half of your body is sitting on your rib cage.
Do they wrap it, or do they give you something to kind of keep things up and up?
I think I took off a couple of days from work just because I couldn't... when I first did it, I thought it was fine. But by the next day, I was like in agony.
Well, and the thing is like, what is the comfortable position? It's
standing.
Not laying down. I was going to say, it's not laying down.
It's actually standing.
Oh, God, that's
because no matter how I laid, sat, or it was like just the flesh on your skin or the meat, and especially if you're chubby like me.
You're not chubby.
Well, yes, I am.
Shut
and
up.
It lays on your ribs. You're like, and it's super sensitive. Like,
God, that's brutal. Well, it's just like my pinky. Remember I told you I have some debris under my finger?
Yes.
Well, it seems like it's getting like tender now.
Oh. Is it festering?
I don't know. It's not festering, but it's more sensitive than it was before, and it's kind of moved. It's progressed closer to my nail bed.
Yeah.
And my doctor's like, if it starts to bother you, you're going to have to go to a hand surgeon.
Really?
That's all you can do. He goes, people get shot and we don't remove the bullet because of where it is. And he goes, and this is one of those things where the only way to remove it would be for a hand surgeon to go in.
Yeah.
And he goes, and I fear that it would be far more delicate than you think.
Yeah.
Because it's your pinky.
For sure.
And it's not very big. And the debris, the sliver or whatever's in there is pretty significant.
Yeah. Ooh.
And I'm like, I don't want to do it. So I told Daryl, I'm like, twice I've woken up with it hurting. And so I'm like, I'm just going to give it like a month. And then just see where I'm at. And I keep saying that. I've said that for a month now.
It's been now like 2 months.
It's been 2 months. And so I'm just waiting. I don't know what to do, man.
I have a piece of glass in my foot.
Yeah.
It never fails. When Jerry breaks a glass and tells me about it, I'll be like, did you clean? Because what is, I don't know about, not Daryl. I don't know if he does this or not.
No, he's terrible. I cut my finger on a shard of glass the other day.
Yes, when you break a glass is everywhere.
You have to meticulously
clean. And where you think you haven't, there's no way it could be there. It's there.
Yeah. This shard of glass was under the coffee maker, and I picked up the coffee maker to sweep. Like to clean out from under it. And there was a huge chunk, like a triangle sized piece of glass. And I poked the shit out of my thumb and I had thumb blood. And I'm like, do you see this?
I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm just grateful that he told me because he's broken things before and tried to get away with it. Like, she won't know. And then I step on it. So, and I told him, I go, well, did you, I'm seriously like, it was in the kitchen. I'm like, Jeff runs around here like a Banshee Indian with no shoes on, no socks on. I'm like, he will step on it. Guarantees. Like, no, I cleaned it everywhere. I did it over and over. Okay. So for weeks, I found glass.
Oh, no.
Everywhere. Oh. And I tried to clean it. Like, I was sweeping and getting under things and like, to make sure that the glass was gone. Sure as shit, I was like, okay, it's good. There can't possibly be any more glass left.
I've cleaned this floor.
No, I stepped on it. Stepped on it.
The one piece.
It went right into my freaking, like, the pad of your toe, the underneath your toes, that soft part. Yeah.
Did you get it out?
I couldn't. I swear to God, I had surgery in the bathroom. I mean, I had every tool known to man trying to dig that shit out, and I could not get it out. And it was so sore. It was something about glass.
It hurts.
It hurts, and it's like, it's sore. Like, it's not even just like a cut that like heals and then it goes away.
I know.
No. So it's in there. It finally covered over and healed. So now I can kind of feel it when I walk in a certain way. I'm so glad.
Awesome. All right.
You and your pinky and me and my foot.
I know, right? Okay, really quick, because we won't talk about it next week. Well, no, you know what? We're going to talk about it next week. Never mind. We're done.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks for listening, and we hope you enjoyed our brushes with celebrity. And now you know the trick. If you go to Disneyland and you see the plaid vest wandering around, look behind her or him, because you're guaranteed to probably see a celebrity.
Yeah.
And if you don't know who they are, still take the picture, and then you'll go, oh my God, that was so-and-so.
I would love to photobomb myself with like celebs behind me. Yeah. Like,
yeah, that'd be cool.
Cha-ching.
I think we tried to do that. I think Daryl tried to do that once or something. And they're like, if you just want a selfie, just.
But I don't want a selfie. I want you looking around. Like, I want them looking around, just doing their own thing, unbeknownst to them. Oh. I'm taking a picture with me and them in the background, just like.
Daryl had a brush with a celebrity recently, actually. Now, Daryl. Well, because he travels so much.
Yeah.
He runs into them at the airport.
Okay.
But this one, I mean, it's only if you're a comedian lover, if you like comedy and you know who comedians are, then you would know who this person is. But if you don't, well, it's all right. He was in Newark, New Jersey, Newark, and he was waiting for his flight. He was in a bar having a cocktail, and he was wrapping it up. He goes, and I was just sitting there chilling, and this guy walks in and he sits down, and I'm like, holy shit, that's Tom Papa.
Oh, yeah.
And
I know who he is.
We just saw him in Napa a couple years ago. He's so funny. I think that's
why I remember his name, because you sent me snippets of him or something.
Yeah, I do. And because I think he's so funny. He's our age.
Yeah.
And he, well, not your age, but
we're 2 years apart.
I know. Okay, fine.
God.
Anyway, he's in our age range, and he was there, and he just has a Netflix special just came out. It's super funny. And so Daryl goes, you know what? He's not like me, because I'd be like, don't you dare go over there.
Leave him alone.
Like, leave him alone. God, I just like leave him alone.
It's probably like the 10th time today that he's been recognized.
So he walks up to him and he goes, hi. He goes, I just wanted to say hello. I recognize you. My wife and I are huge fans of your work. Thank you so much. We love everything, blah, blah, blah. And I go, don't want to bother you. Have a nice day. Thanks. And he goes, whoa, whoa, whoa. He goes, where are you running? Where are you off to? Where are you going? Where are you coming from? And he goes, oh, I'm on my way home. Da, da, da. He goes, where are you going? He goes, I think I'm on my way to go do Wait, Don't Tell Me, which is a podcast. And he goes, oh, that's awesome. And so they talked for a little bit. And I'm like, well, now I'm jealous because I want to be his friend too.
And had you been there, you would not have even let him go over there.
No, I would have.
You would have.
I would have let him go over there. And
there's something about your husband. He's very likable. And he's just super easy to like, even for a celebrity.
Yeah, that's true.
They get weird. I don't know. There's something about Daryl. I mean,
he's very approachable.
The fact that he sat there and had a whole conversation and drinks with Captain Lee and talked about football, or I think it was football,
drives you crazy.
And that, Captain Lee I'm wondering if he was wondering, like, does this guy know who I am? And he's just playing it off.
I don't know.
Or does he not know who I am? Or even if, I don't care if he knows I am, but this guy's kind of cool that I'm sitting here having a drink with.
I think the more that those interactions happen with certain types of quote unquote celeb or people who are known, I think it's more like, it's kind of nice for them not to fangirl out in the sense like, oh my God, but then again, I truly have never been super impressed by any celebrity that I've met. And I have met celebrities, but just random interactions. Yeah. No. But and they're just normal people. I've met rock and roll rock stars and stuff.
Yes.
Most of them are very smelly and exhausted all the time. Yeah. And
see, the thing about Captain Lee is because he's on a reality show.
Yes.
He and how he is on his show is how he is all the time.
Right. And so
he's not a pompous asshole.
No. And I'm starting to realize,
which is why I like him.
I'm starting to recognize that I don't think he's a big fan of being known.
He's not.
He seems like he's like, not. You know what, this was fun for a minute, but now I'm like, I kind of don't want to do it anymore.
His son died, and that'll
change you.
Very much so. Yes, he's just suddenly like, I just don't give a shit about anything anymore.
This is dumb.
Like, all of this stuff
is so stupid.
I mean, I think he's like, it's obviously very good money. Mm-hmm. And as the years and the seasons have progressed, Captain Lee's version of Below Deck is the most popular.
Sure.
It is like the #1 show on Bravo.
Yes.
So how can he stop? You know what I mean? At the same time.
Well, he did.
What do you mean?
Well, he's not going to do it anymore.
Is that what he said?
Yeah, he's retiring. He said he's done with it.
Oh, I haven't read that.
I told you. I'm almost positive I told you that he's done. He's like, I'm not doing it anymore. He's like,
oh no, I didn't know.
He's like, he goes, I'm not doing my best anymore. So I'm done.
Okay.
And he's stepping away. He's retiring from it.
Yeah. That's sad.
Well, I'm sure like all the things you said is probably why.
This will be the third year since his son died. So the first year that the son died, they filmed and it was awful. Mm-hmm. Everybody knew there was something up. The second year, he was much better.
He had some surgery or something.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think he's like 75. I think he's super young.
Somebody said he had back surgery, and so he's like, I just can't. My health is like meh.
So he's coming. So that season is still running right now. And this, the new episode's on tomorrow night.
Yes, but I think he's not filming anymore. I think he's done.
Yeah,
filming.
Well, if he was, he'd be filming right now.
Yeah, he's not. He's done. Anyway. All right. Well, enough of that. All right. Well, thank you for listening, and we will see you next week.